other song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1009? Wow. It's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today, we are going to bring you the wonderful news segment called This Is Interesting. We'll look at some interesting stories that are recent, and we'll hear from Valentino, Bison Bentley,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
Madame Rootabega, and incidentally,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
We're going to sing today about the Oscar nominees. No, we're not, because, come on, please. I mean, these movies, I don't really go see. The last one I saw was Bridge of Spies, and it didn't get an award nomination.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But Mad Max Fury Road did, and The Revenant.
Mike's
Well,
Daily
I guess I can say
Podcast.
I saved money at the box office.
Yeah!
Because I just don't want to go see any movies these days. Nothing jumps out at me. Last year, at least, there was like the Imitation Game. A movie about Alan Turing. That sounds interesting. Maybe I'll go see that. Oh, there's a movie about Stephen Hawking. There's a movie about... Nah. Speaking of actors and movies and such, Alan Rickman has passed away at 69, the exact same age as David Bowie. Strange. And we talk a little bit about that a little later on with the Daily Haley. And Haley will be stopping by. Alan Rickman appeared in Die Hard as the villain. He got a lot of accolades for that. He did a great job. He was also in a Kevin Smith movie. Kevin Smith? Is that the director? Dogma? Where, with what's his name? Those guys. Matt Damon and practically his brother, Affleck. And they go and Alanis Morissette plays God. It's a strange movie. It's probably one of my favorite ones. Well, I also like Chasing Amy a little bit. Just because that's goofy and it kind of shows you comic book culture. It was before Comic-Con got all popular, and you kind of see that world, and there's a bisexual character in there, and it's interesting. Alan Rickman, of course, was the voice of the robot in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in the movie version. Martin Freeman is in this movie, Sam Rockwell, Mos Def, and Zooey Deschanel. Go see this movie if you haven't seen it yet. It's a crazy, wonderful, wild, comedic sci-fi movie based on a book that was huge in England and did pretty well here in the United States as well. It spawned Douglas Adams. We talk about him a little bit too as well a little bit later on, and his connection to Pink Floyd on the Daily Haley. But Douglas Adams was so into Mac and Apple and all of that. I think he was one of the first people in England to have a Mac. And he loved the potential of what you could do with the computer and the games that you could play on there. He was he had a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy game that was very popular that you could play on your computer. I never got the chance to play it, but it was sort of, I think, kind of like those choose your own adventure type games. And then back to Alan Rickman though. And Douglas Adams we lost. He was at a very young age too, which is odd. Alan Rickman was in Love Actually. And he was Emma Thompson's husband in that. But he's like thinking about cheating on her. And she finds out. And there's a really sad scene where Emma's listening to Both Sides Now. I've seen my life from Both Sides Now. But not Joni Mitchell's original version of that. The one she did later on in her life when she was much older and she had seen life from both sides. And it's a very touching scene. Alan Rickman's in that. Yes, so I was very shocked to hear about that. And this is going to be just sort of a short little thing. Well, we should get to the characters. They haven't showed up yet. Look who just walked in, as a matter of fact. Hello, Michael Mash. This is Madame Rootabega. Your song was very strange today, your song. My song? Yes. I think everyone has a song and they need to sing it. There's a song inside of you struggling to get out. find that song. You don't have to sing it on a podcast and let the whole world hear it. You could just sing it quietly to yourself. But everyone has that song. Michael Matthews, that's beautiful. Here's my song. Oh. Love that. It kind of has hints of, I guess, Joni Mitchell in a weird sort of surreal way. Thank you. Look who else just walked in. Hello, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant. And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Mike, that gal from South Carolina, the governor day. Ah, yes. Her name is, yeah, I'm looking it up now. Go ahead. Yeah, anyway, she said a couple of things there about Trump in the response to the State of the Union Day. Yeah, Mike, the State of the Union. Do you know that? It's Nikki Haley. Do you know that? That's right, it is Nikki Haley. Yeah, so she gave the Republican response, and people are blown away how a lot of things she said, she went after Trump. Basically about how there should be tolerance for immigrants. She herself is an immigrant. Stupid Ann Coulter said something like, oh, look at her saying that she's an immigrant. Who cares what she thinks because she's an immigrant? Damn Ann Coulter, who is so white, she might as well be transparent. She might as well be cellophane. I'm just going to rename Ann Coulter cellophane from now on. Anyway, what cellophane had to say about Nikki Haley was utterly ridiculous. But Nikki Haley did. The Republicans are saying, "Hey, enough. The Trump is too far, too extreme." And Nikki Haley comes from an extreme part of the Republican Party. She comes from the Tea Partiers. She was elected as a Tea Party candidate, but she removed the flag, the Confederate flag, from the Capitol in South Carolina and said, "Enough. Enough. This is leading to too much violence and unrest, and it's hurting a huge group of our population. Let's stop it." So, and I like the way she thinks. I may not agree with what Republicans as a whole believe in, but what she has to say, that's great, and I applaud her, and I hope more people applaud her, and she doesn't get buried by the Trump rally call, the Trump thump, and people start talking more about what Nikki Haley has to say, and that's about it. Yeah, whatever. Chris Christie, 2016 day. We'll see what that happened. Nikki Haley was born Nimrata Nikki Randhawa. Yes, she has a family from India. An Indian Sikh family, as a matter of fact. And she was born in 1972. And she's actually married to Michael Haley. And she's been the governor of South Carolina since 2011. And you can call her office at area code 803-734-2100. And she was born in South Carolina, and she's really pretty. Okay. That's about it for that part of the show. Please check out the website. Oh, I did want to mention, too, I was talking with Haley a little bit after we did the Daily Haley about Sting. If you don't have any Sting albums, if you can access Sting's very first solo album, After the Police, called The Dream of the Blue Turtles. Great album. So is the live album that came after that, Bring on the Night, where he does some police stuff. And also Nothing Like the Sun. It's a fantastic album. And then Soul Cages is really good. And that he did that one after his father passed away. And it's a wonderful album. Cool sounds, imagery. Finally, 10 Summoner's Tales is a fantastic album, too. That's got the song on it, Fields of Gold, which was one of his biggest hits. And also the one, If I Ever Lose My Faith in You, There'd Be Nothing Else That I Could Do. Something like that. There's some good stuff. So check out Sting. Some great music from him. He's become sort of a joke as the years went by, because he basically started showing up in commercials, and he's always with his shirt off, and it just was like, come on, whatever. But he did do some interesting work at the beginning. Ooh, and also check out on the homepage of Bing today, if you're listening to this on Thursday, they have up the Edward Muybridge's photo series of Sally Gardner at a Gallop, which is a fascinating story. In fact, we're going to get into that on the segment This Is Interesting. And the website is mikesdailypodcast.com with all the past blogs, podcast pictures. We've got on there the link to the Amazon. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through that link at mikesdailypodcast.com, and that helps us out when you purchase something through there. And also there's the link to the, what do they call it? PayPal. Yeah, if you want to donate and become an Inglorious Mike's Daily podcaster and get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. There's also all the past interviews I've done, and you can find out there's a myriad of other places you can find this show. You can listen to the show like on YouTube and through Dropbox and Mixcloud and SoundCloud. All those places you can find there at mikesdailypodcast.com.
This is interesting.
Wow, this is interesting.
I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusion.
This is interesting. And we're talking about Edward Muybridge. They have on the front of the Bing those photos from Sally Gardner at a Gallop. Very interesting story. Edward Muybridge, by the way, he had his name changed many times over the course of his life. What was one of the weird names he had? Helios. He was known as Helios for a while. Okay. And he actually shot his wife's lover, too, and almost went to prison for that. Almost got hung, as a matter of fact. Leland Stanford got this great lawyer to get him off, and this all took place up in Napa in their courthouse. But Sally Gardner at a Gallop is a series of photographs consisting of a galloping horse, the result of a photographic experiment that Edward Muybridge did. And he spells his name, by the way, E-A-D-W-E-A-R-D. It's like basically Eid Weird is the way he spells it. And Muybridge is M-U-Y-B-R-I-D-G-E. 1878 was when this was done. It's cited as an early silent film. The series and later experiments like it were precursors to the development of motion pictures. It consists of 24 photographs shot in rapid succession. That was known as a zoopraxiscope, which they actually, that was sort of a novelty that you could pay to see these things at like state fairs and whatnot. And they made a little bit of money off of that before, what's his name? Edison took over the idea. He would just rip off ideas left and right, Thomas Edison. And he ripped off Muybridge's idea and made money off of it. This was commissioned by Leland Stanford, the industrialist and horseman. The guy Stanford's named after. He created Stanford, named it after his son, who died very young. And also, of course, he was the railroad guy that basically extorted, or not extorted, but overworked and treated horribly the Chinese workers that worked on the railway system. He did fund this. The purpose of the shoot was to determine whether a galloping horse ever lifts all 4 feet completely off the ground during the gait. At this speed, the human eye cannot break down the action. He had a large farm, which later became Stanford, in the Palo Alto area, and he had several different breeds of horses, and he raced them. And he met Edward Muybridge, liked his photography. Muybridge had done a lot of pictures of the indigenous people of America, and his photographs are still well known for that. What they did was to take these pictures. Edward used 24 cameras, which were 27 inches apart. The shutters were controlled by tripwires triggered by the horse's legs. The photographs were taken in succession, 1/25th of a second apart, with the shutter speeds calculated to be less than 1/2000th of a second. The jockey, Dom, set the mare to travel at a speed of 1 minute and 40 seconds, which means that she was galloping at a mile per 1 minute and 40 seconds, equivalent to 36 miles per hour. And Sally Gardner is the name of the horse. Across the bay from where that all took place is Podcastro Valley, and apparently this year is time for change, and that means a lot of changes as far as rules and regulations. One of them being BART fares rose between 10 and 15 cents per one-way ride, depending on distance. The new fares put a trip from Castro Valley to the Embarcadero station up 30 cents. These fare increases aren't for salaries, but for capital expenditures, like improving cars. Alameda County is imposing mandatory food scrap recycling for people in apartments and condos. The recycling became mandatory several months ago, but now the county is threatening fines after the first of the year for people who are non-compliant. Requirements to collect food scraps and compostable paper separately for all businesses and institutions, as well as multifamily properties with 5 or more units, became effective this year. Compostable paper includes cardboard, newspaper, white paper, mixed recycled paper, recycled glass. The law also requires separate collections of organics or food scraps. The county considers organics to be food soiled paper, and plant debris. The material will become compost, a valuable resource used by gardeners, landscapers, and farmers. The mandatory recycling ordinance requires discarded food and compostable paper to be kept separate from garbage and placed in a container for organics collection in a certain jurisdiction. Violators of the ordinance may be subject to citations and fines of up to $500. The state of California will be raising workers' wages this year to $10 per hour. A controversial vaccination law requires shots for school kids, but schools won't vet students for vaccinations until July, just a few weeks before the 2016-2017 school year begins. The bill requires full vaccination for most children to enroll in schools. A new Senate law requires law enforcement to obtain search warrants before they can seize emails, text messages, internet search history, and other digital data. And starting this year, Senate Bill 707 prohibits even people with permits from carrying concealed firearms on both college campuses and K-12 schools. If you've got one of those new hoverboard scooters, you might be worried about them catching on fire while their batteries are charging. Also worry about where you can ride them. No public facilities. And make sure you have a helmet and a light if it's dark out. All riders must be over 16 and cannot be under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Fines could ring up to $250, according to the Castro Valley Forum, or just the Castro Valley Forum. And there's the yellow alert that was established on January 1st of this year. Like the Amber Alert, this warning will be dispatched by the California Highway Patrol. The yellow alert will broadcast the vehicle description of suspects' cars in hit-and-run incidents. Yay! As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. And now, the Daily Haley.
The Daily Haley.
Well, Daily Haley just explained to me the latest Star Wars and all the Star Warses, because I've only seen 4 of them. And Haley even gave me a watching schedule, how I should watch the movies.
Well, it's just a recommended one of people have hypothesized it's probably the best way to get the most out of the movies. Of course, they didn't factor in 7, but I'm sure you can just watch 7 last. I want to see 7 again. It was really good.
Or you could watch 7 first and then watch all of them as a flashback.
That's kind of what I'm doing.
That was an evil laugh you just did. That was a horse there.
It's an evil horse.
Last show...
Bad horse.
A bad horse? Is it a black horse?
It's the thoroughbred of
Coming
sin.
at you like a black horse.
It's a dark horse, but...
Oh. Until you're mine. There's no turning back.
I was thinking Dr. Horrible, but okay.
Dr. Horrible?
Bad horse, bad horse.
Oh! With Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris and Nathan Fillion and Felicia Day.
Oh, I forgot Nathan Fillion's in that.
Oh, yeah.
And Felicia Day.
And Felicia Day.
So, last show you were talking about Joss Whedon. No. Last show you were talking about The Art of War.
Yeah.
And how these Chinese generals duped each other and deceived each other.
Yeah, I didn't get their names. Totally a thing that
was
happened, though.
Fascinating. And did we ever figure out what that breakfast place was in San Jose?
No.
Oh. So this is the last Daily Haley of the week, and I think we should really make this a good one. All right. I am like not thinking today. My brain is in a jar somewhere.
We should really make this a good one. 5 minutes of silence.
It's so quiet. Were you ever a Bjork fan?
Yeah. Some of her stuff. Yeah, I like her videos because they're delightfully weird.
Yeah.
I've never been an intensely avid Bjork fan, but I own a few of her albums. I've listened to them. I like them.
She has an interesting singing style.
Oh, of course. It's like if Yoko Ono's solo stuff didn't suck balls.
And by balls, we mean
those little alcoholic plastic ball things. Have you seen those?
No.
They're like ball bombs or something. They're little
They have
plastic balls with a cap on them. And they're filled with an alcoholic substance. And then you drink them and you go wild or something.
Oh, okay. Gosh, you know all the hip alcohol stuff going on. Would you ever go to a Kid Rock concert?
Yeah.
You like Kid Rock?
No.
But you'd go to a Kid Rock concert?
Yeah. Like I wouldn't pay for it.
If you got to go for free?
Yeah.
And what song would you be like, oh, I hope he plays this song?
433 by John Cage.
Does he do that one?
I hope so.
I don't think he's going to do that one. He's
All
probably
right.
going to do Leonard Skinner and his all Sweet Home Alabama all night long. And
All night. Oh, wait.
that's Lionel Richie.
I know.
Everything comes back to Lionel Richie.
Hey, rumble jumble.
Yeah. Drum, da, 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 da. Whoa.
Dun 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 dun
Dun, dun, dun. A man walks down the street, says, why am I small in the middle? Why am I something in the middle? The rest of my life is so hard. Where's my photo opportunity? I need a shot of redemption. Don't want to be a cartoon graveyard. Bone digger, dogs in the moonlight. Far away, my well-lit door. Mr. Beer Belly, take these dogs away from me. I don't something rosy anymore.
If you be my bodyguard, I can be your long lost pal.
Dun, 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 dun.
I can call you Betty, and Betty, when you call me out. Thanks, Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase is in that video.
He's the one that sings in that video. Not actually.
That's right. He's lip syncing. And Paul Simon looks annoyed through the whole video.
It's great. I love that video.
Paul Simon got a weird facelift.
Did he? I haven't seen him recently.
He was on Portlandia.
If he can't lift anything else, he might as well lift his face.
Yeah.
He's short.
What's wrong with short people?
Nothing.
No, really, what is wrong with them?
What is wrong?
They're so, like, smart and intelligent.
It's all compressed. All of their knowledge is compressed into a smaller space.
Well, I'm not very happy because it turns out tall people die sooner than short people because
they hit their heads on more things.
We have more health problems because we're hitting our heads constantly. Ow! I just did it just now. Oh, my shiny head. I hit something. Let's see. Paul Simon. Paul Simon is a singer. Were you into Art Garfunkel?
Not individually.
No.
Not as a solo artist.
Because what has he done individually, Art Garfunkel? He did like a cover of old 50s song. Since You've Been Gone. Since You've Been Gone. No, he didn't do Kelly Clarkson. He did that song. Since I Don't Have You. Totally not. I don't have happiness. And I don't have loneliness. Yeah, it's a great song. So, we were discussing the girl with the plastic tattoo.
That's not what it's called, but we'll go with that.
And that movie. And that was, I saw the whole series and was very depressed.
And we're talking about the Finnish version, of course.
The Finnish.
No.
Well, I hope they finished.
Yeah. If you watch the English version, you suck.
Yeah, don't watch that.
Only the original.
Yeah, I know you like Daniel Craig, but don't watch it.
Don't do it. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I haven't either. Maybe it's really good.
Maybe it is. But it wasn't on Netflix.
That's true. Oh, yeah. That's where I saw it. It was on Netflix.
Yeah.
Are you going to ever go to San Francisco again?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go actually come April. Maybe sooner.
What are you going to do there?
There's a concert that's happening in April.
Oh, that's right. The Japanese...
Hatsune
Yeah,
Jarrell and I are going to go to that. Also, let's see. Jarrell's going to go. Jarrell's our coworker. I'm going to go. My girlfriend's going to go. I have a friend who lives in Canada who's actually planning on a vacation that's going to take him down here, and then he'll actually go to the concert with us.
How fun!
So that's going to be cool.
Wow.
And he's probably going to spend the week around here.
Oh.
So that'll be fun. Get to see him.
Yeah. And he likes that type of Japanese pop.
Hatsune Miku? Yeah. It's hard to classify as just like Japanese pop because the Vocaloids, as they're called, have a very specific type of music, and it's the novelty of it that's so attractive. You know?
It's just so different.
It's just so different because they're computer programs singing.
Huh.
And it's a hologram performing in concert.
A hologram. That's crazy. Well, I hope you have fun there at that show. And are you going to go get a bread bowl of clam chowder? Oh, you can't.
I can get the bread bowls from Boudin's.
You can?
Yeah. Sourdough bread, if it's true sourdough, cooked well in the traditional sourdough way, is actually mostly gluten-free.
Oh.
The gluten cooks itself out. It's very strange. I don't know the science behind it.
So you can eat that. Yeah,
I won't though. I don't want to go to Boudin.
What do you want to do?
Oh, I can't have their clam chowder because it's filled with wheat.
Why? Why'd they do that?
To make it thicker.
Oh. Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. He had
Alan Rickman.
he had the greatest voice. I didn't know he had cancer either, and he died at 69. Same age as David Bowie. I wonder if they ever met. They should have recorded an album together.
Maybe they did.
Oh, that would be cool. Because I could hear Alan Rickman going, "Ground control to Major Tom," with his voice.
That would be fabulous, honestly.
Benedict Cumberbatch does a really good Alan Rickman impression.
I'm not surprised. I bet they worked together.
Yeah, and so, I can't think of anything that they did, but they must have. And the guy who was the voice of Robin Hood died. I can't think of his name. He was in the original Disney Robin Hood, but he apparently was on Broadway 18 times, and he was married to his husband for 30 years.
Ooh.
In other entertainment news, what's happening to your hair, Haley? Is it still, do you have to keep that color going, or what? How do you keep that color going in your hair?
I'm just gonna cut my hair and most of it'll be gone. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You're not gonna cut it now, are you? While we're recording this?
I would, but no.
Okay. Oh, I got so mad yesterday. I was driving on 580, and there was a bunch of wood, lumber, in my lane all of a sudden. I had to drive over a bunch of wood like at 60 miles an hour. That scared the crap out of me.
That sucks.
And then I had to check my tires afterwards. Luckily, they didn't blow, because I just got them.
So I was looking up if David Bowie and Alan Rickman did anything together, and I just found this picture that shows David Bowie and Alan Rickman looking similar.
Wow.
Which is serious.
Because Alan's dressed as Snape. And
he's got the long, shaggy hair.
And then looks like David Bowie dyed his hair black as well.
Well, yeah, in this picture, it's like a black and white picture, and he's got dark hair.
David Bowie smoked a lot. I wonder if that's what caused his cancer.
Probably. Probably.
Do you smoke?
No.
I don't either.
I'm smoking hot, but that's about it.
I'm not. I don't have any smoke coming out of me at all. Well, that was good. Anything else that's on your mind?
No.
No.
My mind is blank.
What are you going to do this weekend?
I'm gonna do some sleeping. I'm gonna eat something. And I'm probably gonna walk a few steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we got the Martin Luther King Jr. birthday or holiday at the...
Mm-hmm.
I like how his birthday or holiday is the first of the year. Well, actually, technically, I guess New Year's Day is.
Second,
but
yeah.
He was a great man and an inspiration to us all. And he did really good speeches. And
he got murdered.
Freaking stupid
by
assassinator.
The American government.
Memphis, Alabama. April 4, shot rings out in the Memphis sky. Free at last, they took your life. They could not take your pride. In the name of love. One more in the name of love.
Is that the actual lyrics?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You too?
Interesting.
That was getting played on the radio the whole time I was in high school. So, yeah, so Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I am going to be working 2 jobs. I think I'm going to do a podcast that day. I'm working my other job first, and then I'll be at the Fremont job in the evening doing the hockey game.
That's true.
So I'm going to walk my dog at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
We'll see how Basil likes that. Oh, and I've got a new segment I'm going to do possibly the next show called The Word of the Wet Nose. And it's going to be dog interesting facts that will help people that don't like dogs and people that do like dogs. How will it walk that line? We'll find out.
You'll have to listen.
Can you tell me anything to help boost my confidence? It's at an all-time low right now.
Well, I walked in today and you have your fancy button-down white shirt and then you put your black blazer on top and I was like, wow, look at that fancy individual sitting in that chair working at this radio station. What a sharp-dressed man.
Thank you, I feel much better.
I'm glad. I'm
Okay.
being completely honest here.
Aw, thanks. Now I'm all like blushing and stuff. Well, what I was going to do was put the white of this shirt through the sleeves and say, look, I'm playing the piano. Wait, I did do that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Gosh. Well, now I'm just a mess because I've taken the jacket off. My shirt's all torn. No, it's not torn. It's just all wrinkly and bad.
I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel. Cold and I am shamed.
Oh my gosh.
Lying naked on the floor.
Natalie Imbruglia.
Illusion never changed into something real.
What happened to her?
And wide awake and I can see the perfect sky is torn. Didn't she just come out with something kind of
She did.
in the last couple of years?
Yeah. She was beautiful. She had the big eyes. She was in, like, Australian soap operas.
Interesting. She's not Australian.
I thought she was.
I don't think she's Australian.
Haley showed me a picture from, like, 1990 of a bunch of kids playing Sonic the Hedgehog or something. What was that?
It was like a computer. It might have been actually edited to show Sonic the Hedgehog on the screen, but it was like a promotional catalog for computer programs, and it just had a bunch of like 90s kids dressed in 90s clothes. Well, 1990s, so early 90s, late 80s kids' clothes with the bright colors.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The polyester, and they're all like, whoa!
Computers are so
Oh my god!
There was a time when we thought that about computers. Mm-hmm. Amazing. All right, what Pink Floyd song are we ending with? Because we're outside of Cafe Anyway.
Yeah, well, if we're outside of Cafe Anyway, we're gonna play that one song that sounds like Outside of Cafe Anyway, which I'm looking up right now. Hold on one second.
Money!
Talk about something, well.
Roger Waters was the force behind Pink Floyd. When he left the band, Dave Gilmour took over with his amazing guitar work, did things like the Division Bell, and what was the first one he did? It had on it, Learning to Fly. Good songs.
Yeah, well, I
My
thought
soul-
Division Bell was the first one that was...
No, that was the second. Wait, maybe you're right.
I don't know.
Did you know Douglas Adams, who wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, gave Dave Gilmour the idea to call it Division Bell because he was listening to the song?
Yeah, I did hear that. I'd forgotten about it,
But yeah, I guess they were really good friends, Dave Gilmour and Douglas Adams. Roger Waters, I'd love to meet him someday. He seems interesting.
Play Astronomy Domine.
What?
Astronomy Domine.
All right, are you going to sing any of it?
No, I don't think it has words.
All right, so we'll play a little bit of that, and that'll take us out of the Daily Haley. Thank you, Haley. Have a great weekend.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And the picture was from yesterday. I was walking my dog through Leona Canyon at Basil the Boxer, and he was having a great time. So there was a bunch of people there at Leona. I don't know what it is, but around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all these dog walkers show up. These people that walk dogs